Okay, so we're here once again in Pet Simulator 99, and in today's video we're going to go over some brand new enchant loadouts which will help you progress through the game for both free to play and pay to win players as well. These are going to be basically ranging from 0 diamonds pretty much all the way up to billions of diamonds. So of course stick around throughout this video because we are going to go through pretty much every type of thing to do with coins, diamonds, drops, etc. So let's get straight into it. Now the first one I'm going to start with is actually basically to drop for the keys, and this is going to be the same thing when we do get something in the future as well. So of course we do have the hacker keys in the game right now, and currently I am basically running a breakables loadout pretty much. Just break as many breakables as possible, so you can do this with things like speed. Of course these are very cheap, pretty much every single player has these. So if you are free to play, of course you will only have around 5 or 6 enchant slots basically. So I'd highly recommend getting one of the speed on there, maybe even using something like happy pets as well, because these will increase the speed of course by 100%, and then happy pets also increases it by 25% plus 40% quicker attacking speed as well, which is always going to be vital for getting more breakables. You can also use something like criticals as well. Depending on where you are in the game, you can get the best one. It's only 165,000 diamonds, which isn't really too much. However, of course, you can also just use the lower versions. There's not really too much of a difference between them all. However, I will just put on the best one right there. Moving on, again, you might want to use something like strong pets again. Of course, you can use a lower tier. However, the stronger your pets are, the more breakables you're going to go through. It does depend if you are insta breaking or not. However, if you are insta breaking, you don't really need strong pets anyways. You might use something instead like tapping power, so you can have like auto tap on or something, or like an auto clicker on, basically just tapping away. You could also use something like diamonds as well. However, in terms of using it for the actual event keys themselves, you might want to use something like fruity, very cheap indeed. I believe it might be inflated right now because it was like 14,000 diamonds or something before this recording. However, this of course does increase all of your fruits, so it does mean you get more drops and more damage and everything like that. And then you might want to finish off with something similar like treasure hunter maybe. This doesn't really affect drops of keys, however it can still just help you get more like drops in there anyways, so it can really help. Or you might use something like fireworks, large taps, or maybe like tap teamwork maybe. You can also use something like explosive, as this does randomly drop TNT around in your breakables area, which can also break more breakables as well, which is always going to be really good. So if you are going for hacker keys, I would highly recommend going for this if you are free to play. However, if you are more paid to win like myself, this right here is the current loadout that I am using. Of course, basically very similar. A lot of these are still very cheap. However, we just have a little bit more enchants on there. We do also have Nightmare Orb as well. If you are currently standing in the breakables area, it does actually break more breakables over time, so it is actually a good one to use. Super Magnet as well, I kind of just have it on there just because I have it basically. You can also just use something like the normal magnet if you are just standing in the area. So if we take this one off, just add on the magnet 3. You are still going to be basically picking up all the breakables if you stand right in the middle anyways, so it doesn't really matter too much if you have Super Magnet or normal magnet. However, I just kind of have Super Magnet on because I just have it anyways, and it means that I can stand over here and still pick up everything anyways, and it does also mean that I can AFK hatch as well. So yeah, pay to win loadout right there, and yeah, let's just move on to the next one. So now we're going to go for coins, and I think coins again are really typically quite easy to get. It does depend on where you are in the game. However, I would recommend having maybe 2 of the coin books on, again depending on what tier you're kind of on. You don't really need to have the best ones. You can also have like, you know, like tier 6, maybe even like tier 4 or 3. However, yeah, coins are going to be a good one. Again, getting that damage in there to basically be able to break as many breakables as possible is always going to be really good. So you might use something like strong pets, or again, you might use something like speed and happy pets as well. This is basically going to be quite a recurring theme in here because these two are actually very strong, and a lot of people just don't realise it when they are together. And then again, for a little bit more coins, you might be able to maybe afford one of the exclusives. Maybe you can get Lucky Block or like Massive Comet. However, I wouldn't really recommend getting them. Again, if you do have that last enchant slot to fill out, fruity, because of course, if you can be using things like bananas, as you can see right here, these do stack up 5% per banana, which is always going to be really good. Then on top of that, with the fruity, it does an extra 25% as well, so that could be really strong as well. So of course, now you're going to be gaining a lot of coins. In terms of a pay to win loadout, again, it doesn't really change too much. You're probably just going to be adding in things like criticals, maybe just diamonds or something like that as well, just to kind of get the diamonds. Maybe you can use something like chest mimic as well. I don't really think they drop coins, however, you may as well just put it in there anyways. You could use corruption depending on where you are in the game, however, if you are in the last area, this is going to be pretty much useless. So yeah, I guess pay to win loadout right there for coins. Coins for pay to win players really aren't a problem, so most people won't be getting them anyways. However, now we're going to be moving on to item drops. Now this is basically the best way, I think, currently to gain diamonds for free to play players. So realistically, I would highly recommend investing in things like the Treasure Hunter 9 books. If you can have 2 of these in your enchant slots, it's going to increase your drops by a ton. And of course, you can maybe again add in Fruity. I would always recommend getting this book. It is very cheap, and of course it does mean it does boost your pineapple fruits as well, as these do increase your drop rate. And then again, similar thing as before, you might want to put on happy pets or speed, maybe strong pets as well, depending on where you are in the game. However, just for the sake of this one, I will only put on happy pets instead of speed, because you can also use some other things as well, like criticals. This does mean you break breakables a lot quicker. Typically, when you actually watch your pets, even though they might be super strong, they might have 11 trillion damage, it does still sometimes take like maybe 1 or 2 hits, maybe even 3 hits to actually break a breakable per pet. So of course, if you can have the criticals, it does kind of just increase that chance of that they will basically insta-break them instead. And then of course, if you are kind of finishing off with more drops, you might want to use something again like explosive and maybe something like that. You could also, if you can afford it, get mini chest fortune once they kind of do like spawn in every now and again, which does mean that you get 2 times drops from every mini chest, which could be pretty good. However, again, you might just want to put on another treasure hunter book. It won't be that strong compared to just using like the 2 right here. Maybe you might want to use something like fireworks or something just to get more breakables. However, this is where the pay to win and the free to play players are kind of separated quite a lot. For the pay to win players, you're always going to want to use something like boss chest, chest mimic, mini chest hunter, superior chest mimic, super magnet as well, both of the treasure hunter books. And then you can use something like chest breaker just to break those chests a little bit more. I still use Fruity as a pay to win player, however you can use something like massive comet or the massive lucky block or the boss lucky block, whatever it's called. And of course, this is going to give you a ton of drops. Of course, the boss chest already gives you quite a lot of drops. Chest mimic is always so expensive because it is probably the best drops breakable out there right now. Superior chest mimic as well is rising in price because of the brand new mastery, which does actually increase the amount of drops and spawn rate you can get for these. Of course, once you do max it out, you can get basically 1.5 times more chests to spawn in, plus 5 times loot from these chests as well, which basically means I think these chests drop around 4 drops every time you've broken them. However, if you can get 5 times drops, I believe that will then drop 20 items per chest, which will make it very overpowered indeed. So of course, again, this is really where pay to win players and free to play players kind of get separated, mostly because of chest mimic and superior chest pretty much. But yeah, overall, a very strong pay to win loadout right there as well. And then we're going to finish off with diamonds. Now, I wouldn't really say diamonds in terms of AFK grinding list way is the best way to do it. There is actually a YouTuber I recently saw who actually uploaded a video quite a while, well, it was like 3 months ago or something. I can't exactly remember his name. However, if I can find the video, I will link it down below, basically for diamond farming, which is the best way I think right now. However, of course, if you are just going to be AFK grinding in an area for diamonds, of course, just get 2 diamond books on there. Again, it doesn't really have to be the best ones. However, of course, just the better ones you can get, the more diamonds you're going to get as well on top of that. Now, I would really recommend trying to get something like Lucky Block or Massive Comet, as these do drop a nice amount of diamonds every time you break them. However, if you can't really get those, again, I'm going to slap a Fruity on there because of the oranges right here. These always do a massive amount. You could use maybe something like Fortune on top of the 2 diamond books, as this does increase your diamonds further by another 40%. However, if you can't really get, well, I would say just get the Fortune book anyway, it's only 3,000. And again, it's pretty much all about getting most breakables. So again, I would probably recommend getting criticals on there, and then maybe something like Treasure Hunter. Although this won't drop diamonds Things like keys and stuff are very, very expensive and give you a lot of diamonds, especially if you can AFK overnight, as of course you will get a lot of keys from this, and then you can just go ahead and sell them for a ton of diamonds. So I would say this is probably the best free to play method right now for getting diamonds. And then in terms of pay to win, again, I do believe I might already have one down here, right here. However, let me just quickly swap in these 2 diamond books. And again, I'd probably recommend this loadout right here for a pay to win diamond player. Basically, it's just pretty much the same as the other drops pretty much. However, as you can see, there is a little bit of a well, this is actually it right here, it's the exact same one. There is a little bit of a difference though, of course, because it was a little bit like more for treasure hunting, so there's a lot more treasure hunter books. However, of course, chest mimic, mini chest fortune, super heavy chest mimic, boss chest mimic, chest breaker, all these together will give you a ton of drops just to sell for diamonds in like the plaza and stuff. And then of course you just have the 2 diamond books on there anyways. If we do just quickly jump down to the best area right now, you can see I'm not exactly getting an amazing amount of diamonds. However, over time, overnight, this will give you quite a lot of diamonds, of course, if you can't AFK overnight. Plus you can use something like the fortune flag as well, which gives you 2.5 times more diamonds on top of the best potion as well. This will always help. And as you can see, I am getting a decent amount of diamonds, so overnight this will actually give you quite a lot in terms of like millions and stuff. However, yeah, that is pretty much it right now for me in terms of all of the different enchant loadouts. Let me know down below what you guys think. If you are free to play, of course, make sure you aren't spending too many diamonds on your enchant loadout, as it would be better just to basically focus on getting a better team. I'm pretty sure most people know that though. But yeah, let me know down below what you guys think of these enchant loadouts. Which one are you currently using right now? That is it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.